Hi everyone, Kendall here, and welcome to our new Block Wednesday hosted by Pat Sloan at her website ilovetomakequilts.com, which is a jelly roll sampler, and we are taking blocks from a book by It's So Emma called Simply Jelly Rolls. So to do this sew along, you will need the book, but in the description box below, I will be including links each week to the sheet which tells you which block we're working on, what page in the book it's from, and which pieces you need to cut to make that week's block assignment. This week we are working on the Pretzel 2 block, and we are making 4 blocks for this week, which will create the top row of the quilt that you see on the wall behind me. So if you haven't done so already, grab your book, grab a beverage, come with me, and I'll show you how I do it. As I said in the intro, you should jump over to the link in the description box below to grab the weekly sheet, and this one tells you what block you're doing, what page of the book it's in, and how many of which pieces we need to make the blocks for our project. So in this instance, we need to have picked 4 jelly roll strips, and we need 13 of the D squares, 16 F rectangles, 32 G rectangles, and 32 H squares to go ahead and make the 4 blocks that we need to make for this week. Throughout this video, however, I will only be making a 1 block. And to start, we are going to make our 4 patches, which for that we need our D and H squares. We need to have only 8 of our D squares, which we will have 13 there, so we need to set 5 aside, take the remaining 8 and sew them together with 8 of our H squares. We'll then press towards the darker of our 2 fabrics before setting them as a 4 patch, and I'll meet you back when we're at that point. So we need to make a total of 4 patches from each of our D square colors, which are from the 4 jelly rolls strips that we picked at the beginning. Lots of 4s. While we don't need to, I just thought that I would show you the swirling of the centers. So you give the block a little bit of a twist, open up those few stitches that are outside our seam allowance, and then flatten our seam allowances all in the same direction, in this instance clockwise, and you'll see that it creates a miniature 4 patch in the middle there, and we'll just press that into place. Once we've got all of these pressed, you can follow the directions that are in the book if you like, but I just opened all of these up just so that I could show you how that's done with a close-up. If that was too fast, you can go back and slow that footage down. With our 4 patches made, we put them on the table in front of us, ensuring that we have a background square in that top left-hand corner before grabbing our G rectangles, which will go on the left-hand side, and our F rectangles, which will go along the top once we've sewn our G rectangle on. So we'll take this to the machine and sew that G rectangle to the 4 patch first, pressing out towards that G rectangle when we're done, and then we'll attach the F rectangles to the top of that, and that will create our 4 corner units. Once we've sewn that F rectangle on, we will also press out towards that F rectangle. We now have one more little unit to make before we can go into final block construction, and for that we'll take 4 of the remaining 5 D squares that we set aside earlier and 4 more of our G rectangles, and just sew these together with our 1/4 inch seam. With these we will press towards the G strip, I believe, and then we'll be ready to set this out for our final layout, which will be a 9 patch. We could now just make our top and bottom row by setting 2 lots of 2 here, and just adding that strip in the middle and then creating our center strip and blah, blah, blah. But I decided to actually just lay this out and finish the construction as a 9 patch. So you can see that as I laid out each corner, I gave it just 1/4 turn until I had all 4 placed there. I'm now going to grab the last remaining D square, bang that in the middle there, and then lay our G strips, making sure that we have our print pointing out away from the center, as you can see me doing here. And then this goes together as a 9 patch. It's not a traditional 9 patch in the sense that we have 9 pieces of equal size, but it, at the end of the day, is a 9 patch. We are putting 9 pieces of fabric together. So we'll start by doing all of our vertical seams and then our horizontal seams. Now we will press in towards that sashing piece on the top and the bottom row, and out towards the sashing piece in the middle, and that will allow for when we sew our last horizontal rows together for all of our intersections to nest. And we love that. With your horizontal rows, we'll press in towards that center row in both instances. And with that final horizontal seam now sewn, we can go ahead and press that in towards that center row as we did on the previous one. And one of our 4 blocks for this week are complete. Now you do remember that we do need to make 4 of these, and with all 4 of them made, you are actually able to set that whole top row together as it goes in the pattern, and we're ready to move on to next week. Alrighty folks, thanks for joining me again this week, and as you can see, it is really simple construction, a 4 patch with a few edges, a couple of bit of sashing pieces, and we're done. But remember, you do need to make 4 of them, and the best part, once they're all done, you can get the whole top row finished. Alrighty folks, if you haven't done so already, like the video, share it with a friend, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I don't know why you wouldn't have, it's free, hey, and I'm fun, yeah. I'm fun, even when I'm feeling unwell, as you can hear in my voice. After you've subscribed, wow, I got lost in my own thoughts there. Make sure you tickle the little bell icon to be notified of all my upcoming releases, and I'll see you all again real soon. Bye for now.